All right, YouTube. Here we are again, co-host Wmpyr. Good to see you.
Hello,
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, man. That's right. Yeah, it's been kind of cold over here. I got my hat on, so it's kind of chilly a little bit. Tonight we're gonna be talking about the Prometheus. Now that's there you go, man. You got the Blu-ray. That's awesome. Hey, does that have that any bonus features in the like? Does Ridley Scott talk about anything in the movie or any dialogues from the director?
De- Deleted and alternate scenes.
Oh
That's
wow, that's
it.
awesome, man. I gotta
Yeah.
pick that up. I had to watch it on the web. I got a copy of it there that I found on the web, so that was nice. But it's man, I love this movie. Like I watched it back in the day, like when it came out, just at home. I didn't watch it on the big screen or anything, but
Yeah.
it was well worth the wait. I think the last one was in '97. This one is 2012, and it
Yes.
tells us the story, the big story. Like I love the opening, dude. The opening scene, the guys drinking the goo. The engineers. What'd you think of those engineers?
They look kind of bizarre, right? The
Yeah,
face and the
yeah,
skin, and I don't know. They're super like demigod looking.
yeah. Like they look like those statues from Rome and Greece.
Yeah.
Like almost like too good to be true, like too perfect.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And,
how what
and
I got. Like, but
it's
I love the eyes. Like it reminded me of the sort of the eyes from Krull, like the black,
oh,
like all like
okay.
remember that like how the guy I think but these guys are like 9 to 10 feet tall, right?
They're big. Yeah, they're really big. Very similar to us, but definitely something's you know
Yeah, because
off.
later the doctor has the DNA thing and she shows it in the little like iPhone looking thing, like it's a
Yeah.
perfect match. Um, but what planet do you think they were on at the beginning? Like right the opening scene, like a lot of the videos out there, a lot of the video, reviewers out there, they say it's like Earth. Some people say
Yeah.
it's I don't know what they say, what planet is it is. Did you think it was Earth, or did you think it was the planet that they land on,
I
um, which is
I
LV-223?
I thought it was a planet like Earth, and I didn't necessarily think. I just thought it was an
Not even
example,
Earth. So you
but
thought it was a like
yeah,
Earth planet.
like Earth, and not even any of the LV planets. None
Got
of
it.
those. Is
Cool.
what I thought. But you know
So
what?
just the overall theme of them seeding a planet, seeding,
Yeah,
seeding.
yeah. You
Got
get the idea. This is what they do, right?
it. Okay. Okay.
Man.
Wow.
So yeah, his DNA instantly they show it like shattering and breaking
Yeah.
apart,
Yeah.
and he starts falling apart, and
It's
he
crazy, man.
falls
Like it goes right
water.
into the water. It's like you think that's real. Like that stuff is like the kind of stuff that like the legends are made of.
Deconstruction takes you apart
Yeah.
by molecules. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
Yeah.
that's
There's
that.
an old saying like this real old principle called the unification and annihilation. When you become one with everything, you also destroy your body.
Mm,
So this being is becoming one with everything. This engineer, because you see the other dudes are flying off in like that donuts style. There's a special name for it. Of course, I forget it, so I called it the donut right now. But they're the other juggernaut
yeah.
style ship that they take off on at the beginning of the movie. Like those are
Yes.
other engineers. Um, is there any deleted scenes in that video that you have of the beginning?
I'm sure I watched it. I don't remember, man. It's yeah, I didn't watch it this time around,
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's cool. But they are like leaving, like they're so that guy
Yes.
like he says bye to them. I guess he's not an emotional dude or anything, but takes
No.
off and drinks the thing and like it's because he's like seems like at peace, like really excited to make the next step in his journey of becoming one with everything. That's the vibe kind of that I got even when I first watched it, like
Yeah,
years ago, before I started getting into the FMA, and which it was right there at the turning point of like 2012 and 2013, which is when I started doing the FMA. So right with that, you start, you start thinking about broader concepts as a martial arts practitioner. So that's kind of what I like about the movie. Like it lets you think about a lot more than just a movie.
The
You know?
guy was a sacrificial lamb, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
To
what do you
something
think?
like
What do you think that black goose stuff was at
I don't
at the
know.
time?
Well, I mean, yeah, like because we talked about it. Like at the time when I watched it, I didn't know. I just figured that since it's I knew about the movies, I figured it was somehow related to the xenomorph, so that it was a concentrated dose of the actual xenomorph, maybe like a plasm, like how in Ghostbusters they call stuff ectoplasm. I
Yeah.
thought perhaps this could be sort of some sort of plasm of the xenomorph in a concentrated form. The dude drinks it, it goes immediately into his DNA and does like the overhaul that is observed in Alien 1979 when the android Ash is looking through the microscope and seeing how the virus is now injecting into the cellular structure of the organism that new pattern of creating what did we talk about it, a silica based
Mm,
um, uh,
mm,
instead of a carbon based
right.
structure, so it
Yeah.
changes, and that's what the Ian Holmes character is looking, and he's saying, oh, it's converting into a silica and something. He called it, he knew the formula, he said something. So that is obviously what I made the connection. I'm like, hey, that's just what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's so much deeper now because there's videos that talk about it, and like there's
Yes.
other information that's come out now since 2012 where people have said in their YouTube videos, and there's a whole bunch. So anyone that's watching can just look that up. You type in Prometheus goo, and
Yeah.
there's videos out there that say that the engineers, they created that goo. It's a synthetic version of the
Yeah.
original blood from the Deacon, which is the mural that's on the ship, the Juggernaut, when Elizabeth Shaw and Holloway are examining that ship there with David and the others when they find the cargo hold and see all the decorations, and when Shaw says the paintings are changing and the murals, and that one mural where Holloway walks up to it and sees that jade sort of stone in the base of the
Hmm.
pedestal. That mural is called the Deacon, and
Mm,
that's the engineers sort of, well, they worship it as their god,
mm,
and they they revere it. That's what the information that's come out now,
yeah.
which is sort of behind the scenes. I think it's related to a documentary that may be in another Blu-ray version, either that or in the Covenant um,
Right.
Blu-ray, where Ridley Scott was talking about how the relationship between the engineers and the Deacon, and who created whom, and why did they create them, all that stuff. Anyway, it's still fascinating to me, man. They're drinking a substance that changes them from within. It and then they become one with everything. The way he explodes in the water, that was awesome. Like the graphics are amazing. The
Hmm.
the movie's totally awesome. Like from the 79 version to now, it's great. It does really well where it doesn't do too much fan service, and at the same time it does, but it stays original. Even though I didn't know there was all that stuff with the studios intervening and
Yeah.
problems with the directors and who they, all that kind of stuff that's behind the scenes that plagues these movies. I
Yeah.
just, I was happy. They fly off in the spaceship at the end, like all that stuff.
Is said they were heading towards the source, right? She wanted
Yes,
to
to the
go
home planet. Like she
the
gets
home
pissed.
planet of the engineers, and she wanted to tell them why.
Yeah, like she's
What's
pissed
up?
because the dude slaps her away, like for starters, like boom,
Yeah.
and then he takes off, and David like radios her. He's like, "Hey, you better like book it because that guy's on his way." After they crash the Prometheus into the ship and make the Juggernaut, um, detour back, crash land back on LV-223. It's like, no way. Shaw is having the worst day of her life,
Yeah.
and that's when the engineer gets infected with the trilobite, which is the newer version of the face hugger.
That
Remember that? That
that
gigantic
dude.
12, 13-foot face hugger. I mean, we're jumping around. Everybody knows the movie.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
knows
yeah.
what's up. These are just
Yeah.
like really awesome things. Like, for me, I love the alien lore. Like, H.R. Geiger, all that stuff was just so cool in the 80s growing up. And like liking it was just awesome. This is like the graduation of Alien,
Yeah.
and it's a great way to open up the new series. I can't wait to see what's coming up.
Mm.
Because they're making another one like
I
after
hope
Covenant.
so. I hope
It's
because
supposed to be like two.
it's been a while. Two almost Covenant, the second one. It almost felt like it took it to the graveyard. So I hope it doesn't. I hope they make more.
What do you think about Covenant? Like you said, graveyard. Like, what do you mean? Like, I mean,
Uh,
not to but you say whatever you.
sure, sure. Personally, it went in a direction that I didn't care for, but hey, I'm here to watch the director's vision, not me direct. So
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
yeah. So it wasn't the way that I wanted, but I'm like you. I'm excited about the franchise, and I want to see more. I want to see
Yeah,
what's
for sure.
yeah.
I
So
kind of also got a little like bummed out with Covenant too. Like, you know, it's a classic horror movie stuff. Like but I like that Danny McBride was in it. I like that dude, like the Eastbound and Down. Like so that again, it's that classic horror movie where when they put like a major dude like that, the movie's he's not gonna die, and he doesn't die. He makes it out of there. You know. Um, which android do you think takes off? Is it David or is it Walter
oh, for
at
sure
the
it's
end?
David.
Because like
Yeah.
it's David.
Oh yeah.
Because some of these videos they were saying that Walter's alive, but that somehow David like copied his chip because he knows Walter's codes, and they do that fight, and we don't know because the fight happens off camera,
Yeah.
the last fight between them.
Yeah.
And then the next scene we see is Walter, who we think is Walter. Tennessee is talking to him, and
Right.
and Daniels is talking to him like if he's Walter, but then he doesn't recall anything about the log cabin when he's putting her to sleep, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Don't let the bed bugs bite," and she's like, "No, no," and he
Yeah.
he kind of makes it like he's David, and he
100%. Yeah.
vomits out those embryos, you
Yeah.
know. Um, I want to talk about David, like a little bit. Like, what do you think about that android? Like, I know I mentioned Walter, and
Yeah.
obviously Walter's dead. Like, but because it
It
is David. But what about
Prometheus.
David? Yeah, from Prometheus, the original David. Like, did you like him? Not like him? Remind you of Bishop? What's up? Let's talk about the android.
Okay, yeah. I think in Prometheus, when you look back, not the first time I saw it, okay, the actor is excellent. He's creepy as he should be,
Oh, Michael
whatever.
Fassbender, top notch.
Yeah, but then when
A
I look
plus.
back on it recently, I was like, man, he's evil. He hates humans. It kind of like throughout, and in a way they justify it. They're like, of course he hates humans. He's treated like crap. But I think this time around when I saw it, it was obvious. So at the end where he was like, hey, can you come rescue me and I'll help you? I was like, if I had seen the way that I would have been like, no, I'd rather, no way.
Yeah, I'll take my chances, make a
Yeah,
blessing. I've got my little cross emblem. She was Christian, cat's
yeah.
out of the bag. So she should have taken her chances with
What about you?
her God. You know,
Yeah. What about you
what
with
is
the
it for
Android
me?
thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I love the Android. Like from
Yeah.
the start, 2012, I was because I like Fassbender. I think he's a great actor. The movies he's come out in, he's just tremendous. You know, even from the Inglorious Bastards. Like I think I saw him in that movie. Like that was
Mhm.
awesome. But so anyway, great actor for me. So I'm already a fan.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it like he's riding the bicycle, doing the thing. Everything that he's doing is just like, yes. I'm thinking like, man, this guy's a full blown psychotic, and then it clicks like, oh, he's an android. Like,
Uh,
you know, I'm remembering that first feeling I had. But later, now that I watched it over and over, Wmpyr, I thought like, nah, like this guy's perfect. Like Wayland created him exactly the way he is
mm,
on purpose, and Wayland is super pleased with his creation. That's why later they do the scene in Covenant where you see younger Guy Pearce, which is already he's old. He's like got gray hair. It's probably like 68 years old.
yeah.
I think it was like a 30-year thing, like where he was like 90 something, and so that was 30 years before when he first creates David. I don't know. I could be making it up. I don't know specifically the date, but I got that impression. He's super pleased, man. I think David is right on the mark. He's got everything. He's the perfect being. He's going to live. He does have emotions. He does have the ego. He does have everything that we have, except he's never going to age. So he'll be able to experience everything over and over again and become perfect and better and better and better with each
Mm,
century.
mm,
But I don't think a lot of reviewers out there have that my point of view or my opinion about David. A lot of them say things that we've heard that like David is a psychopath or that he's malfunctioning, that
oh.
he's not
No.
working correctly, and
Mm,
that's why he develops those alternative programmings or that the problems with his reasoning or
I
why
see.
he so they say that kind of stuff where I think that he's perfect. Wayland knew exactly what he was doing, that he had created the perfect vessel for his egomania, that
Right.
Wayland, yeah, so that Wayland could carry on in that sense. So that from that point of view, I kind of saw David like that. Like
Mm,
especially after rewatching it this week, I
yeah.
was like, hey, I'm gonna look for something different, and
Mm,
that's something that I saw that he was like the so he doesn't hate humans. He just hates humans that aren't his dad because his dad is the perfect version of humanity for him. And now that he's gone or on the verge of going, David
yeah.
himself is losing a companion, and he's always been a creator, which is evident in the part two, which is
Yes.
the Covenant. He's
Right.
playing the piano, the flute. He loves music, all that, everything. He's like the perfect observer, perfect everything. It's just well balanced.
Mm,
So I was super pleased, man. Uh, it's just when he does all those experiments, that's the agenda of Wayland. Wayland, remember, this is where AVP comes in,
mm.
at least for me. Because how in the world is Wayland gonna know about xenomorphs or any kind of morph or anything? Wayland is a smart guy. He's a billionaire, trillionaire in the 21st century.
Yeah.
But how do they know? Is Alien versus Predator, is that valid? Is what year is that set? How what I'm saying is Prometheus is way before Ripley. So how does Wayland already know about engineers? It's not explicit in the movie, but there are answers in the script. In the script, Wayland is keeping up to date with the latest research in anthropology and archaeology, and that's where these um, doctors that he has in the movie, they're also in the alternative scripts which were leaked, um, and so he keeps up with that. But that's the stuff we see in the movie, you know, with the alien pointing at or the engineer pointing at the stars and all that. What I'm talking about is the xenomorph, man, and what happened in Antarctica.
Mm.
Like Wayland paid for that stuff.
Hmm.
He's in the movie.
Yeah.
So I know some of the reviewers, a lot of them just kind of say, no, well, that never happened. Let's just ignore that movie. But I don't want to ignore it. I do want to tie it in because I think that's why this Wayland, 60 or 70 years later, is so headstrong about wanting to know more of these pyramid beings, and because they go to pyramids in LV 223, they explore that pyramid. Elizabeth Shaw and Holloway. That's, you know, when he says, the Captain Yannick says, "Oh, we've only got 6 hours of daylight. Why don't you
Right.
pack up for tomorrow?" Oh, I want my Christmas presents, Captain. You know, like he says that line. That actor, by the way, is the perfect like egomania actor. I didn't like the guy, but I think that was the reaction I was supposed to have
You
because
did
I
a
don't
good
think
job. Yeah.
David liked him either.
Yeah.
That's why David poisons the guy.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, which is
yeah.
weird too. Like, did you notice that? Like, he sort of like makes him like admit, like, I'll do anything to get my engineers,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, anything. Here you go. Put your
Right.
finger in the.
Well, but before that, the guy insults David because
Totally, totally. He's like, you're not
remember
even a man. You're a little boy, like Pinocchio. Yeah,
yeah, because David says to the guy, you know, he was like, why did humans create me? And he
he
goes,
totally misses the mark. That
yeah,
guy's totally off the mark. Yeah, like if well, remember, like I just let you in my head based on everything I just said about the relationship between Wayland and David. So Holloway misses the mark, man, and
yeah,
he totally jabs at it, and David gets pissed because he's got emotions.
yeah. He says because we can, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then he goes, well, what if they said that to you guys?
yeah.
You're engineers. What if they say that to you? And he's like, well, I'm glad that you're an android, that you don't feel anything, or he says something like
Man,
that.
he's such a jerk.
Yeah, that's a jerk for sure, you know. So
So
that
I think it's a little payback.
it's more
Yeah,
than a little. He
yeah,
kills the guy.
right. Yeah. What is he? Big things have small beginnings, I think is what
Right.
he says. And
Yes.
then he puts that in there, and that right there is. So I'm also fascinated. Again, remember, I mentioned this before, and even in the other video I think that we did for the other Alien movie,
Yeah.
the Ian Holmes character talks about the silica-based organism,
Yeah.
and that's totally a 180 from carbon based. So that's an inorganic organism.
Mm.
When David sees that little nanite or whatever it is, that thing on his finger, when he first goes into the chamber with the cargo hold and sees the cylinders, and they open up the atmosphere, and it begins to oxidize the surface, he says organic, he says that. So it makes me also wonder about the goo. What is it? It could be a synthetic organic, so it could be a hydrocarbon chain based synthetic, like
Well,
an
with
oil with brains. An oil with functionality that changes, but later does change into a synthetic organism so that its exoskeleton can survive in outer space and that kind of thing. So
it,
I
it
don't think it's bad writing.
no, and for that, I think if you go to H.R. Giger, it's very evident because his illustrations are biomechanical,
Yeah,
right? So it's two.
yeah,
They're synthetic, but they're also alive. So they're also organic. So it's inorganic and organic, biomechanical. That's his theme, right? Or at least on a lot of his illustrations. So and that's the xenomorph it's biomechanical.
yes. However, I always got the impression afterwards, since computers are made of silicon-based wafers,
Mm.
the plastic, the chip, I always got the impression that xenomorphs were like an AI
Mm.
or part of
Mm.
a big biomechanical computer system, which is what you just said. So, but I kind of tied in that AI again, the that fascination that David has with them, and like, what do you think goes on with Shaw? Because he like takes her apart in Covenant. You see her like she's all
Oh
like
man, that's
dude.
golly.
So Shaw, who the irony, it's this is classic irony. She can't have babies, and she becomes the mother of xenomorphs.
Yeah,
She's like the original mother.
right.
She turns into Giger's painting. You know, she's like the head
Hmm.
thing, like with all the tubes, like, oh, like that's her.
Man, that oh gosh, but so this is why maybe a lot of people didn't like Covenant, because you know you have a survivor in the first film and then you immediately kill her off in the second film. That's not a good way. We
Indeed.
talked about it in Alien 3. As much as we like it, we know that that was not a good thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just kill off a lot of these survivors that you rooted for them in the first movie.
Yeah.
Or
Michael Bean and Newt, which
yeah,
was what was his name? Hawkins or whatever his name is. I think that's the guy from Predator. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused.
yeah, that's Hawkins, Predator. Yeah.
But it's Hicks, I think is his name.
Hicks, that's Lieutenant Hicks. Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, yeah, we talked about that. Ripley had like fallen in love with him. They had this thing like he gives her the tracker. She's like, "Oh, does this mean, it doesn't mean we're engaged?" She says something like,
Right,
I
right.
love that sort of like talk.
No, I know. You don't kill them off, man.
Yeah,
That
like
sucks.
man, right at the beginning, and they even show the charred body, like they're
Yeah.
rubbing it in your face, like, "Oh, we couldn't afford them or something," and like, here you go, audience, because
Not a good way to start. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Come on.
so
Come on, man. Yeah.
they did that with Elizabeth Shaw, which just totally it cut the attention over to David. He's like the survivor,
I
which
mean,
again, it's more.
because in the beginning of not in the beginning, by the end of Prometheus, even David gave respect. He was like, "You survived." He was like,
Great survival instinct, he says, right?
he was like, you're awesome, basically,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
he was impressed with her, and then yeah, to just kill her off, it's a bum, it's a darn shame. Yeah,
yeah,
you feel that too. Yeah,
yeah, totally, man. Like I
yeah,
think that it could have been, it could have done justice for Prometheus in Covenant if they had done that, like, and given you more of the story of Shaw, the the spaceship ride to the planet, how she's putting David's head back together. Did David self-assemble once she got him on? Does his body heal? Because they make that explicit in the movie that Walter can heal himself
mm.
and David's model can't.
Oh,
But
I see. Yeah,
I think they missed the mark. Wayland built David to perfection.
right.
So anything that the after models think they can do, David can do
Yeah,
because he's the prototype model and can unlock any. He's like the jailbroken iPhone
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
do it all and do it all well, really, really well. So they say that in some of those videos that he takes the chip out of Walter, sticks it in his brain, and that's how he knows all the Walter's codes, how to talk to Tennessee and talk
Mm,
to everyone. But that doesn't explain how he forgets about the log cabin. So
mm.
it's kind of weird.
Right.
But I mean, no, pretty much I liked Prometheus a lot.
Yeah,
You know, aside from these little things and the tying into the sort of history fiction and stuff. I love that aspect of it, how they put in pyramids, and I like pyramids and all that stuff. And you know, for me, it was a great movie.
Hmm.
Um, it's
Now, some people have said the greatest sci-fi. What do you think?
Oh, it's up there for sure.
Is up there?
And like that, like when you said it, I was like, oh, that's bogus. But later, when you explained it, that it's the greatest sci-fi because it gets you to think about things that aren't necessarily sci-fi. Like there's the religious aspect of it. It's not even religious overtly, but it does talk about the origins of life. Why
Mm.
are we here? What are we looking forward to in the future? And you don't get that from a horror movie like Jason or Halloween, which Alien is a horror movie, 1979. And you also get space drama and space thriller, space mystery. So it's wonderful, man. That
Yeah.
could be a good moniker, man, calling it the greatest of all time. Like,
Mm.
like it. I don't know, but for those reasons, yeah, I could see why someone could say that because it gets you to think about so many things outside of ordinary sci-fi and philosophy and
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's just overall great. And
Oh,
it's Alien, man.
and
Ridley Scott.
opens the doors to a lot of things, like you're saying, AVP. I'm
Yeah,
thinking even Blade Runner. You know,
for
uh,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just opens doors to a whole lot of things. Ties you, dude. The stuff that you told me about how Predator ties into this is
Yeah, yeah, because of the
fascinating.
hand. Remember in the scene in Predator, 18, 15 minutes into the movie, we see the hand. That's like the first time where we see like, holy moly, this
The
monster has a
Yeah,
hand just like ours, where he's grabbing
the Scorpion.
the scorpion like over here, you know. And now that right there, they're saying that in some of these videos that the predators were related to and obviously with the Dark Horse graphic novel and
Hmm.
AVP, all that stuff, it's obvious, but I wanted to see a little more of that in Prometheus. I was a little disappointed in 2012 how the Prometheus didn't mention the Predators, so that
Mm.
could have possibly been the studio, maybe not having access to it, or I don't know. Some of these reviewers out there probably have talked about it, but it could have been that maybe licensing, or maybe even they didn't want to take the chance.
And what's interesting is the last Predator, the most they mention the DNA recombining
Yes,
and
yeah, totally,
re-engineering, and then
totally,
also the humongous super predator that's the result. So
yeah.
now size wise, you're talking about predators are similar in height to a xenomorph, and now you have something equivalent to Queen,
The
right? Getting closer.
Yeah, like a 15-footer almost, even like
Right.
way bigger. And so that we're seeing sort of the tie-in from I think that was Shane Black's Predator, which was the
Mm-hmm.
newest one. We're seeing a tie-in with the goo because of the experimentation, the way these later videos and the new information is saying that the goo is a synthetic that allows you to alter your DNA or make copies of your DNA or allows your DNA to change itself
Mm.
based on the host or the new cellular information you're getting. So when that predator makes a like adjusts itself, like
Yeah.
see it like modify in real time. That's kind of cool with the graphics the way they do it, but that's what the goo is part of. So in this lore, it could be that the either the engineers created the predators and did sort of the same thing that the deacon did to them, which make a better version of them. I don't know. Some people have said that. I don't know if that's true or not. I've
Yeah.
just seen it on a few of these videos that I watched this week,
Yeah.
and that's kind of cool because it goes with the theme of
Right.
how the one version, the origin version, is sort of a perfect version, but then makes an even better version of themselves that can utilize that new environment in a way that that organism can't.
Mm.
And that's what we get with the engineers, how they're seeding planets and this. So it could be that eventually we'll get a tie-in with all the AVP stuff, which I totally hope, man. I
Yeah,
totally hope we see some Predator action. I love Predator and
that'll be great.
87, and it'd be great if we could see it in good form like that. But
Yes.
other than that, man, this Prometheus was awesome. Like, I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see it at the theater?
I want to say yeah, I did. I may not have, but I want to say for sure. I know I was super looking forward to it, and Covenant for sure I did, and I remember coming out kind of upset.
Yeah, but it's because of the big gap. Like, Prometheus was supposed to be the movie to tell us how did the space jockey appear, what happened, like all the stuff that Ripley discovered in 79 with on the Nostromo
Yeah.
when they do that detour.
Right. Right.
But there's other things that like we didn't talk about, but maybe we could talk about them in part two. But some of the parallels with Alien and things like that I saw in Prometheus that I was excited about,
Okay.
things
Yeah.
like that. But I'm happy, man. We can wrap it up here. It's pretty good
Yes, sir.
discussion here about Prometheus. I learned some new things here talking to you.
Yeah. For man, you uncovered a lot for me, so that was cool.
Oh man, that's great. Well, greatest sci-fi of all time, man. There you go, Prometheus. All
Yeah.
right, Wmpyr signing off.
Thank
Thanks a lot.
you. All
Yeah,
right.
later on.